Washington, number 6 Purdue, number 3 Xavier. Let's take you there. Enjoying Craig Bolerjack and Bob Wenzel.
Welcome to Washington. Final game of the West region. Matches Purdue against Xavier, the 6th seed against the number 3 seed. West Virginia has already earned a trip to the Sweet 16 in Phoenix with an upset win over Duke. The winner of Purdue and Xavier will join the Mountaineers in Phoenix. We take a look at the starting lineups, and Purdue, led by E'Twaun Moore, threw down 16 in round 1 against Baylor, and Xavier is balanced, led by the 6'9" forward Josh Duncan, scored 20 against Georgia in round 1 on Thursday night. And today's game is being brought to you in HD TV by HP. Xavier 28-6, Purdue 25-8. John Cowell, Pat Driscoll, and Ray Perrone will officiate today. Xavier beat Georgia, Bob, first round, 73-61. Purdue knocked off Baylor by 11, 90-79 on Thursday.
This is a game between the experienced Xavier Musketeers and the inexperienced freshman of Matt Painter's Purdue team. Very interesting contrast personnel-wise.
And for Xavier, the trigger man is Lavender. Duncan takes that first shot, chased down to the corner, he goes out of bounds, and Purdue will have possession. Josh Duncan, known as the 6th man of the year in the Atlantic 10, but Bob makes the start tonight.
Well, he started the other night as well. He had a great game in their win over Georgia. Xavier trailed at halftime against the Cinderella Georgia team, and their lockdown D in the second half was remarkable to watch. Skillful are the Boilermakers. They all handle, they all pass, they all can shoot.
And they're young. Hummel out front, Moore picked up by Burrell. So tough on the defensive end. That shot kisses off the glass. And finally, we're on the board.
E'Twaun Moore is such an unusual player. Second team all-league as a freshman in the Big Ten. He's not explosive, but he's deceptive. He's got lots of good moves, and he's got long arms.
Brown trying to force that ball inside, and Purdue runs out of the pack. Kramer hands it off. Purdue, good look. Keaton Grant.
Efficiency, my friend. Efficiency is the name of the Boilermakers.
17 points against Baylor, 3 steals, 4 rebounds in round 1. So the backcourt of Moore and Grant has helped Purdue open up an early 4-point lead. Duncan wants 3, pulls the trigger, way off the mark. Purdue runs it out.
Watch his eyes. Keeps his heads up. Player.
5 points, and that quickly Purdue jumps on top by 7.
Talk about being prepared. Wow.
Xavier plays on. Lavender throws it away. Kramer across midcourt. Sean Miller chooses to play on. That shot short, and the rebound.
Sometimes in the NCAA tournament, Craig, as you know, you've been doing it for a long time, as have I. The first few minutes doesn't necessarily dictate the tempo of a game. A lot of adrenaline flowing early. It can go plus or minus on you.
C.J. Anderson and a jump ball as Purdue met the challenge in the paint. But the possession arrow belongs to Purdue.
Skillful in their defensive prowess is Purdue. They know that Anderson's a take-it-to-the-basket guy. Doesn't shoot outside. They were there waiting for him.
Purdue has knocked down 3 of their first 4 shots. Hummel. Brown reached out, took it away for Xavier. Here comes the little guy, Lavender. Only stands 5'7".
Transfer from Oklahoma, where he played in the NCAA tournament for the Sooners as well. 3 guys have played in 3 NCAA tournaments for Xavier.
Again, another forced pass. Duncan looked inside to Anderson. Purdue out front. Hummel Moore on the wing. Down on the low block, the cutter.
Callison starts well, huh? No double team? Wow.
A 9-0 run by Purdue. 6 possessions for Xavier. Empty. We'll be back. Well, Xavier in a hole. Down 9. Sean Miller in his 4th season, the Atlantic 10 Conference Coach of the Year. It took 3 minutes for Matt Painter to build a 9-point lead. Sharp shooting. Good look at Painter. A career record of 81 and 44.
Also was the head coach of Southern Illinois for a year. And he, the Big Ten Coach of the Year.
And a reminder that Xavier went down 9 against Georgia Bob Thursday. This team is not prone to panic.
Not at all. Very experienced. We might say they're slow starters, at least in the NCAA tournament, huh?
In Washington, it just took over 3 minutes for Xavier to fall down by 9, and finally the first bucket drops, and Derek Brown just beat the shot clock. Brown, the sophomore from Dayton.
Derek Brown is now shooting 79% from the field in 3 NCAA games in his career. 2 last year, and this his second one this year.
Kramer on the drive picks up the offensive foul, his first and the first whistle of this game.
Cleanly played so far, huh?
We saw a few against Duke in West Virginia. If you're just tuning in, number 2 seed is out in the West. West Virginia took care of Duke with a big second half, 73-67. So West Virginia moves on to the Sweet 16 and will play the winner of Purdue Xavier. Shot kicks off the rim. Hummel on the trailer. Thought about pulling the trigger. Kramer inside. Short on that shot. And a rebound. Xavier. Good hustle by B.J. Raymond. On the Toledo. And a reach in. And the foul will be on Keaton Grant, his first. And a timeout. 15:38 to play. First half. 9-2.
Than sports.
I didn't know he monitored French.
Getting the scholarship with 0 skills, about as unbelievable as getting real Coke taste and 0 calories. Won a $25,000 scholarship from Coke Zero at mycokerewards.com. 15:38 to play. Opening half here in Washington, D.C. Final game of the West region. Purdue jumping out early, Bob, 9-2. Xavier only hitting 1 of their first 5 shots and 0 for 2 from behind the 3-point line.
How about this matchup? Quick on, quick out front.
Lavender pushes it up short. Rebound Purdue. Kramer. Baseline jumpers on the way. Ricochets off. And a jump ball. Oh, great defense. Scott Martin just checked in. Trying to take it up and in, but the possession arrow belongs to Xavier.
Sean Miller was a great point guard at the University of Pittsburgh. Led the school in history in assists for many, many, many years. And of course, Painter, a terrific guard also at Purdue.
Lavender, right to left hand, goes down on the low block. Tough shot blocked. Who got a piece? I think it was Martin.
So far, the action in the paint has been very aggressive, as you would expect with both of these teams. Xavier hangs its hat on its great defense. And, of course, Purdue offensively is very, very skilled. And we're used to playing that physical play of the Big Ten.
The Bob, Chris Kramer picks up his second foul. For Purdue, Xavier. Trying to work their way back after a slow start. That won't help. The steal. Here comes Purdue on the break. Basket will be good.
How about this steal? Jump in the passing lane. How about this elevation? That's going to be good.
Terrence Crump and Dante Jackson the foul. Crump terrific in the first round against Baylor. Bob, 11 points, dropped down 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
Yeah, he is quick on quick. As you saw in that note, he is 24 years old, a senior. Even though he's a backup point guard, he's got lots of experience. Last year they beat Arizona and lost to Florida in the NCAAs.
Three-point play by Crump. Burrell, so tough defensively, hands it off. Anderson puts it down with 2 hands. CJ's first bucket and only the second hoop scored by Xavier here in the first half. 5.5 minutes in.
You know what's interesting about Purdue? They really don't have a point guard on their team. They have guards, they have forwards, they have centers, and they all handle the ball well. Johnson winds up. That shot comes off the back of the rim. It's cleared by Duncan. Xavier with a 3-on-1. Burrell, nicely done. Reaches out, drops down his first 2. That was pretty. Well, Burrell had some problems scoring against Georgia. 0 for 3 from the floor. So Burrell's on the board. Crump drives it up. Last touch, the call on Duncan. Stanley, a 1,000-point scorer who has now taken the defensive assignment of the best player on every team that Xavier plays. Stanley Burrell, very, very interesting, Craig. Leading scorer his freshman and sophomore year. And now he has taken a back seat and very content to work his magic on the defensive end. Marcus Green checks in. 13:50 to play. Grant. Out front. Good passing, patience by the Boilermakers. I don't think they're babies anymore. And the 3-ball drops down big, straight away. And Keaton Grant, 5 points. That backcourt already combining for 10 of the 15 Boilermaker points here in the first half. Keaton was 3 for 7 Thursday from 3-point range. On the floor, and a foul on the drive. Well, I don't know. We call them baby Boilermakers, but they're getting us some experience and growing up, Bob, right before our eyes. Isn't it wonderful to see? Hummel and Martin played on the same high school team. Matt Painter discussed with us yesterday the recruiting efforts of Purdue. He, at one time, wanted to go to Indiana when he was a high school player. Didn't get recruited by IU, went to Purdue, and it was the best thing that ever happened to him. Duncan, 20 points, 8 rebounds in the opening game against Georgia. One more to come. Substitutions will flow freely between both Sean Miller and Matt Painter in this game. Well, all of these teams in the second day of the NCAA tournament, you get a day's rest in between. The intensity level is through the roof, and it has been here in Washington, D.C., and that's why I think you're seeing frequent substitutions early in this game by both coaches. Hummel back in from Purdue as Josh Duncan throws down his second free throw. And little by little, Xavier trying to hang tough after that quick start by Purdue. 15-8 as we roll up on 13 minutes left to play. Out front, Green, who just checked in. Look at that tough on your belt buckle defense. Purdue needs help. That's Grant. Johnson puts it on the floor. Shot clock down to 10. Single digits. That ball is stripped away and a foul. Boy, Xavier, right in your hip pocket defensively. When you turn the ball over so few times like Purdue does, and you get quality shots, you can wear your opponent out. They probe the defense very well for a team as young as they are. Bob, Josh Duncan picked up the foul, his first, second team foul. And Purdue goes to the line. 3 bounces and out by Grant. NCAA March Madness on Demand is streaming every game from the NCAA Championship online for free. You can watch any game anytime at the new NCAA.com. Keaton Grant from Kissimmee, Florida, which is in the Disney World area. Sophomore, played a great game, as you mentioned. in their first win against Baylor. They scored 90 points in that one.
Dropped down 3 threes out of 7 attempts. 6 points already here to lead Purdue in the first half. Lavender behind the back. Duncan. Oh, I thought he was going to pull the trigger from deep. Lavender now, left hand, little man, working hard. Xavier looking for that entry pass. Shot clock down to 12. How about 9? Down to 8. Down to 7. Burrell, step back jumper, short. And Purdue runs out of the pack. Boy, I tell you, they really make Xavier work. Hummel to Green. First step's a killer. Floater, way overshot the hoop. Duncan in the crowd. And Josh Duncan to foul his second. And just a moment ago, raising that fist, Bob Huggins victorious over Mike Krzyzewski, Bob, and Duke. We had an interesting talk with Coach K, who took the loss with grace on a lot of compliments he handed out to West Virginia.
Yeah, and especially Joe Mazzulla, who almost had a triple-double in the game as the backup point guard for Bob Huggins. And you can see the breakfast of champions is popcorn.
He can eat anything he wants after knocking off the 2 seed. Back door, count it for 2. Xavier, Burrell. Stanley with his second bucket, 4 points. Out of Indianapolis, Indiana, the senior. Again, no panic for Xavier. Hands are up. The shot goes down by E'Twaun Moore. 7 for Moore. Grant was 6. That's a 13-point combo in the backcourt for Purdue.
And he's got Burrell guarding him, who was the Atlantic 10 Defensive Player of the Year. He made it look easy. Watch the long arms of E'Twaun Moore on the defensive side here also.
Hands off to Lavender, dumps it down low inside, count it, and Xavier making their move. Jason Love, the bucket. 18-10, Purdue on CBS.
.com, the official site of college sports.
Craig Bolerjack, Bob Wenzel back in Washington, D.C. And, Bob, I hope Jason Love gives a little love to Drew Lavender. Look at this pass between the legs. And Love says, thank you very much. First bucket for Love. He's already doubled up his point output in the first round against Georgia. 1.4 rebounds. Love with the first hoop of the night.
And Jawan Johnson's going to get some grief from his teammates if they win this game. He's the guy who had that pass thrown between his legs.
That bucket made it 18-12, and an opportunity for a 3-point play, and the big fella drops it.
Yeah, he's got some strength. He's got some strength, doesn't he?
How about Xavier, Bob? Started 1 of 7 from the floor. No panic, as we've mentioned. Says they're hitting 4 of 5.
Experience counts.
18-13, Purdue. Hummel.
Watch the defensive position of Xavier players. Butts down, hands out, move those feet, stay between your man and the basket. Good D. Good D.
Force that outside shot. Xavier runs it across the timeline. Lavender, 5'7", rolls that baseline, kicks it to the corner. Three's on the way. No. Ricochets off. Callison the rebound on the backside, and Purdue runs to the cross midcourt. E'Twaun Moore, the freshman. East Chicago, Indiana's home as Hummel clears.
Screens become ineffective when you are a good switching team. Xavier's a good switching team.
Throws a head fake by Moore. Kramer hole. Shot clock to 16. Long 3. That one just kissed iron. And Jason Love the rebound.
I like Jason Love's play right there. That could have been a stolen outlet pass. Held the ball with 2 hands. Lavender wasn't aware there was someone near him.
The 3. B.J. Raymond. Raymond's now, after a dry spell, hit 3 of his last 13 threes. How big is that on the comeback by Xavier? Down 2 on CBS.
So I told him I want it delivered free. I want it delivered the next day. I want it hooked up free. And I want you to take away the old one free, or there's no deal.
The purchase of $299 or more.
Well, a quick timeout. Purdue, that early lead now down to 2. And Xavier, Bob, going downtown.
BJ's best thing is three-point shooting. Showing some range on that one.
Under 10 minutes to play, first half. On the line, a trip to the Sweet 16 in Phoenix. West Virginia is making travel plans as we speak after knocking off Duke on this floor about 45 minutes ago. Allison out front, leaves it out to Hummel. He will shoot the 3, clears it up top. Keaton Grant. Little give and go, and that ball is that's a block in the paint. And Grant. Derek Brown the foul.
Chalison got to the basket right there after he slipped a screen out front. What Purdue is now doing is when they're setting screens, instead of staying with it, as the switch happens, they go to the basket.
Chalison in and out. A transfer out of Midland Junior College. C.J. Anderson back in for Sean Miller. Misses 2. And it's a 2-point ball game. 9:25 clock running. Lavender walks it across midcourt. Picked up by Keaton Grant. Anderson out front. Oh, nice entry. Duncan inside for 2. Josh Duncan's first bucket. And what do you know, Bob Wenzel? Tied at 18.
High-low execution by the Musketeers.
9 minutes to play. First half. Moore, slip pass, Hummel down low. Boy, great double team. And stepping out of bounds.
What deep! Smothering. He was open and he got double teamed along the baseline. How would you like to have these two guys running after you? Wow.
No place to go. No place. Chalison gives it away. Lavender now trots across the timeline. 8:45 on the clock. Duncan sets a high screen. Duncan wants 3 deep. Yes! Xavier all the way back.
Down 9 against Georgia in the first half. Nothing new to Xavier.
Etuan Moore between his legs. Dumps it down. Chalison inside the paint. Little bump. Slipped it up and no. Boy, tough D by Duncan.
Josh Duncan, very, very experienced player. The pick and roll, that's what you want. Your man goes elsewhere, and at 6'9", tough to challenge his release.
And Bob, the shooting of Xavier, incredible. 1 of 7. I would call that sluggish and slow. But since then, 7 of their last 9 from the floor.
Well, if you called it sluggish, what would you call 7 for 9? Spectacular?
Red hot.
Red hot, there you go.
Moore drives, hangs, floater, no. That ball kicks out. Xavier on the run after the rebound by Anderson. Burrell, tough shot, off the rim. Everybody battling, tip. That's a tip drill, and Purdue wins it. Scott Martin stole it away. Little showtime, watch out. Yes, 2 hands. Derek Brown. Oh, this crowd's crazy. 23-18, 17-3 run by the Musketeers.
You think they enjoy playing defense under Sean Miller? Boy, that's great to see that enthusiasm for this end of the floor.
Martin takes it in strong. Again, cannot move Love out of the paint. More deep, no. You know why they love defense? Because it turns into points. Jackson the trailer to Burrell. Oh, how about that wicked dribble? Lost it though, picked up midcourt. Kramer, 2-on-1, takes it all the way. Gutty play by Kramer. I thought he was going to dish it off to the right. Kramer, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. And back and forth we go. Xavier up by 3. Love's out top. Under 7 minutes to play. First half. Anderson puts it on the floor and a reach in.
You like defense? They like it in Washington, D.C. A steal goes one way. Brown, the elevator move. And a steal the other way. I'll tell you what, Kramer's going home.
So this Silverado is
Xavier owns a three-point lead, Bob, thanks to 9 of 18 shooting. You look at the assists, it's 6-1 advantage. But bottom line, defense equals points.
No doubt about that, and their defense has turned into a lot of offense for the Musketeers. An easy one. A backdoor. A terrific high-low. And a spectacular one. 4 layups, 4 different ways. Sean Miller's got the lead.
6:47 on the first half clock. Xavier 23, Purdue 20. Duncan leads the way for the Musketeers with 7. Burrell and Brown with 4. Etwan Moore and Keaton Grant combining for 13 of the 20 Purdue points. They got off to the hot start, but now beginning to slow down a little bit. C.J. Anderson, the junior from Cincinnati, hometown product, and he drops down to first. Coming up on AT&T at the half. Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, and Seth Davis will take you out for a live look at the action in the Kansas State-Wisconsin game. And, of course, they'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, plus at AT&T Coach's Corner. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half.
Well, C.J. Anderson's doing a much better job in this game than he did on Thursday. The transfer from Manhattan College doing a terrific job in the scoring column so far.
I mentioned he was a hometown product, Linton Woods High School, out of Cincinnati. Foul on Dante Jackson. That's 2 on the freshman from Xavier.
Jackson was spectacular. He made a 3-point shot with 7:21 to go to give Xavier the lead in their big win against Georgia. The most important shot of that guy's career.
Yeah, played a full 8 minutes, Bob, and he'll be remembered by hitting that 3-pointer against the Bulldogs. Oh, tough shot, Crump off balance inside. No. And a foul whistled. Boy, Scott Martin likes to crash the board.
Yeah, he's a lefty. He's a big-time recruit. High school teammate of Robbie Hummel, who made first-team All-League this year. Nice combination. Stronger than he appears to be. Plays big.
6'8", goes about 200 pounds. Valparaiso High School. One bouncing off. Feel the heat when Monday's #1 drama returns with an all-new episode. CSI Miami at 10, 9 Central. Only on CBS. No, I marvel when we talk to players, Bob, and Scott Martin and the Robbie Hummels of the world. A year ago, they're playing high school hoop. Martin's averaging 22 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and life is just fine and dandy.
Well, you're right. We were talking to Hummel yesterday, and he said he can't believe last year at this time he was playing in the Indiana High School State Tournament, which is a terrific, terrific tournament. Very much like this. He said it prepared him some.
Out of bounds. Purdue gets it right back, 6:13 to play. 25-21 Xavier. And the turnovers now even at 5 apiece. Bob, the other part of being in awe of these young players, their high basketball IQ.
Yes, indeed.
You forget sometimes they're 18 years old and they're standing on one of the biggest stages in sport. Well, that ball went through the legs of Hummel, but the official, now they're going to switch it back. It'll be Xavier basketball.
Well, they get it right. That's the most important thing. I thought that was another between the legs play. Second one of the day we have. Highly unusual. Clearly off Hummel.
Lavender fights off the pressure of Crump. Another 6 minutes of play in the half. Brown drops it down low. Takes a step. Anderson, that ball popped off the glass. Crump is so fast. The speed dribbler up and in.
He reminds me of Alex Renfro from Belmont, whose team gave Duke a scare. Beep, beep, he's gone.
Beep, beep. The Roadrunner. Xavier by 2. Crump with 5 points off the bench out of Decatur, Georgia. Lavender, high floater. Oh, ricochets out. Hummel, backside rebound. And Purdue can tie this game or take the lead with a 3. Whistle on the baseline.
Purdue, great inside help defense. There was a mismatch, but they took advantage. And then speed personified in Mr. Crump. Terrific end-to-end.
Marcus Green whistle for a foul. And so Xavier will have it with 5:10 on the clock. And a 2-point lead. Burrell up against Crump. Keeps that dribble alive around the screen by Anderson. CJ inside, backs it up and in. That's a strong move. Anderson with 6 points. 6'6", 220, uses the body well.
See how low he got on that when he did the spin move? That's how you avoid charges.
Out front, Green for 3. Got it. Rattles the net. Marcus Green went scoreless in round 1 against Baylor. That's a big shot. 27-26. Under 4.5 to play. Musketeers answer no. Purdue with a rebound. Moore. There's a speech to Crump. Watch out. Oh, he wanted to take off, did he not? Hummel. Green. Off balance floater. 2 bounces and down. How did he get that shot off? He was sideways, but the iron helped a bit. Under 4 minutes, and Purdue's fans on their feet. 28-27, Boilermakers making the run back. Jackson behind Burrell, works the wing with 14 on the shot. Great defense by Purdue. They are pushing Xavier out. In, count it. What a move. Anderson again with the power. A free throw to come, and we come back. 3.5 to play here in Washington, D.C.
This caramel mocha.
Greg Clark and Seth in New York. We'll get you back to Washington in a moment. First of all, in Omaha, Kansas State has to keep their poise. All right, we'll keep track of it for you. 52-41, 13 minutes to play in the second half. Let's get you back to Washington, Craig and Bob.
So 3:30 to play here in Washington, D.C., the final game of the West Region. And the match is the 3rd seed Xavier Musketeers against the 6th seed Purdue Boilermakers. And Xavier all the way back from 9 down early. 30-28, Crump backs it out. Hands it off to one of the freshmen, E'Twaun Moore.
Switching man-to-man takes away effectiveness of screens. You got to have an antidote. Maybe slip the screen or take it on the dribble.
Shot clock to 5, jumper, rims out. Xavier the rebound on the backside. That's Dempsey Jackson, freshman, Greenfield, Ohio. Lavender. Terrific point guard.
Small in stature, big in heart.
He likes to share it. Everybody involved. 2:40 on the clock. Shot clock to 17. He'll hold. 2 speedsters against one another. Lavender and Crump. Oh, that pass was a beauty, but it was taken off. How about the fill of the lane by Marcus Green?
Yeah, great help side defense. Good defensive reactions by both of these squads. It's not like their offenses aren't good. Purdue scored 90 against Baylor.
Johnson, Love, got a piece. That ball rolls off the rim, and Love again clears it. Into the front court goes Burrell. He'll pop the jumper short. Boy, good look. That's what you like. Burrell wanted that one back.
Yeah, but he shot the ball on the way down. That is a formula for disaster when you shoot. And he extends himself so much defensively. Lots of times he doesn't have his legs in his jumper.
Under 2 minutes here in the first half. Crump. Hummel for 3. No.
Lots of front iron right now in the second part of the first half, Craig. Guys' legs get heavy as they work so hard on the defensive end.
I was just going to ask you the same question. We talked about it with Duke.
Yep.
Short shots mean heavy legs, means fatigue.
And when that happens, go inside.
Jason Love. How about Love's performance? Only 1.4 rebounds in the first-round game against Georgia. Here in the first half, big fella's dropped down 5 for Sean Miller.
Well, Jason is 6'9" and 255 pounds. And where are you good when you're that size? Close to the basket. Do your work before you get the ball, and then the scoring becomes easy. And by that I mean back in, get close to the basket, and then just catch and release.
Love comes back, though, and picks up his first foul. That sends Crump to the line. Bob, also, when you go inside, it's a chance to rest your point guards. It's a chance just to catch a breather.
Substitution number 20, C.J. Anderson.
Crump with 6 points off the bench. Substitutions now. Jackson will go out. Xavier will return B.J. Raymond.
Well, as you mentioned before, we're seeing lots of substitutions in this game. Both Sean Miller and Matt Painter realize that the second half is when it's going to be won or lost, and they want to preserve the energy for their top players for that juncture of the game.
Oh, you gotta like the way Crump plays. Intense. He's making free throws in the first round. Now here in round 2. A minute to play. First half. Burrell drives, leaves it back out front. Guess who? Love. Oh, a skip pass, and it skipped right by C.J. Anderson. I'll tell you, those are tough, Bob. I don't care if you're 6'9" or 6'2". Around the ankles, if you're not prepared, that ball's going away.
That's a bad pass. You know, I mean, there's no other way to describe that. No way you throw a pass like that to anybody. Look at the switch.
Love came out to meet Moore on the dribble to drive. Marcus Green out front. Shot clock to 15. Tough shot in the paint. Count it.
That guy has ability. They won the high school state championship 4A in Indiana with Etron Moore at the controls. One of the best rookies in the Big Ten this year.
And Bob, Moore holds the freshman record at Purdue with 3-point shots made with 65. The do-it-all guy, Lavender, behind the line, takes the 3. Oh! Bangs it down! What a way to end the first half. Only bucket by Lavender. It's a 3. Xavier leads by 3. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel with an AT&T at the half after this message and a word from your local station.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
You have to. CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. Your world delivered.
Hi, everyone. Welcome once again to our studios here in New York for AT&T at the half. I'm Greg Gumbel. At halftime in Washington, Xavier with a 3-point lead on the 6th seed Purdue Boilermakers, 35-32. Meanwhile, in Omaha, second game of the day there has Kansas State taking on Wisconsin. The Badgers lead at 54-41. Let's take you there live and join Kevin Harlan and Dan Bonner. Walker. To have 4 out of 5 in the second.
Well, once they're making shots, they're just so hard to beat because they're so quick and so tough, and they're going to be a tough out in the Sweet 16 if they shoot well from the outside. Like Duke, not a lot of size inside, but a great scheme. They get open shots, and in the second half, they converted.
Yeah, I thought the difference was Joe Mazzulla. He was absolutely fantastic in every way, almost a triple-double, but he changed the game for West Virginia.
All right. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
That's exactly right.
Check. Thanks for joining us here on AT&T at the half. Second half coming up after this.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. Your world delivered.
ABC. Your chance to attend the 2009 Men's Final Four at Ford Field in Detroit, April 4th and 6th. Log on to NCAA.com to apply for your tickets online. That's NCAA.com. You can also apply for tickets to the 2009 Women's Final Four, April 5th and 7th at the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. Log on to NCAA.com to apply for tickets online. That's NCAA.com, the official website of the NCAA.
Now that David Beckham has brought his game to the U.S., what is it that makes him so special? Find out on 60 Minutes tomorrow.
Tiger has taken his game to a new stratosphere. Now he begins his quest for the perfect season. A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
Greg Gumbel in New York, Kansas State, and Wisconsin. Everything seems to be falling for the Wisconsin Badgers. Their lead is now 63-51 over Kansas State. Bill Walker, however, is ready to come back into the lineup for Kansas State. 5:53 to play in the second half. Second half of Purdue Xavier coming right up.
Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by Pontiac, Burger King, Miller Lite, and by Sheraton.
Halftime in Washington, D.C. Final 20 minutes of the West region here in our nation's capital. Xavier with a 35-32 lead. Greg Bullerjack, Bob Wenzel. Exciting, intense first half. Saw Xavier go down by 9 early. No panic. And, Bob, the big difference, points in the paint.
Yeah, points in the paint and defense that led to points in the paint. Xavier is a lockdown team. They did it to Georgia. They did it to Purdue in the second part of the first half. On the fast break, you can get into the paint. You can get into the paint by driving one-on-one, and C.J. Anderson knows that. He is so strong. Dominating the paint in the second part of the first half is why they have the lead.
Well, here's the in-game box score, powered by CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour college sports channel from CBS Sports. Each one more with 9. Crump, terrific off the bench. Bob with 7 points. Grant was 6. And you look at Xavier, C.J. Anderson led the way with 9. Duncan with 7 points in that first half. By the way, Xavier 26-2 when leading at the half.
They have won 28 games on the year. They know how to get W's.
Jallison, dead on jump hook, came off the rim, and here comes Lavender. Trots across midcourt. Who will meet West Virginia in Phoenix in the Sweet 16? Good look, Duncan. Off the mark, Purdue runs it across with Kramer. A quick 3 in transition, and bang! Down it goes. Purdue wasting no time. Grant pulled the trigger.
44% from downtown for Keaton Grant. That is accuracy.
Second three-point shot by Grant in this ball game. We're tied at 35. Anderson around the screen.
Love the defensive stance of all of these players.
Left to right hand. How about the power move? C.J. Anderson is having a game to remember.
He only had 6 yesterday. Very determined. Look how low he gets. The 2-foot jump stop. That is a power play by the transfer from Manhattan. He and Brown are really a pair of forwards that can get after it in the paint. Above his average already.
Foul on Jallison is first. Anderson with a 3-point opportunity. Already past his season average, Bob. Going for point number 12 and hits 10.5 on the season. You always wonder about the kid from the hometown. How much pressure. Whitten Woods High School, as you mentioned, the transfer from Manhattan, and now playing as a junior for Xavier. Eton Moore. Hummel. Gives it back. Moore on the dribble. Went around Burrell. Jump shot rims out. Duncan so powerful in the paint with the rebound. Duncan will pop it deep. Good rotation short with a rebound. Musketeers. They dump it back down low and an offensive foul. Duncan is so big. Hummel just stood there. I don't know if Duncan saw him.
All right here. Hummel gets there quickly. Duncan tries to put the ball on the floor to gather himself, but Hummel did a very intelligent job there. Came from the weak side. That was not his man. 3 fouls. Interesting decision time for Sean Miller. Whether he will let Duncan continue to play. He is the most versatile big man on this team.
3-point game. Jallison spinning, rolling off the glass, and the rebound. Anderson is everywhere. CJ runs it across midcourt. Duncan, quick first step, drives, hangs, overshoots. That ball is loose on the deck. Anderson, strong move. Count it! Where did Anderson come from? Pick that ball, clean up the floor, and powers it up and in.
He was an All-American freshman at Manhattan, and he transferred up to Xavier, and his power is very important to this team.
Jallison whistled for his second foul, and another 3-point opportunity. 14 points, 5 rebounds for CJ.
Had 12 against Tennessee earlier in the year. When you talk about Xavier, the first thing that comes to your mind is their toughness. It manifests itself at the defensive end first and on the board second.
Anderson has scored all 6 points for Xavier here to start the second half. Kramer scoops it out. Grant deep. Off the back of the iron. Love reaches in. Love's had a nice ball game. Burrell now between his legs.
Sean Miller has taken Duncan out of the game. Love will give them power, but not outside shooting. They do not have outside shooting in the game right now.
Love's get pass to Anderson. Lavender works some clock down to 14. Brown almost pulled the trigger. Hands it back. Lavender works behind that screen. Little guy draws a double team. Brown takes one step in, pops a jumper, rolls off, and that ball is loose, and it's taken by Purdue. Big rebound by Jawan Johnson, the freshman.
If I was Matt Painter at this juncture in the game, with these players in the game, I would pack it in a little bit defensively, but stay man to man. There's no outside shooting in the game right now for Xavier, although B.J. Raymond is waiting to enter.
Lavender picked up his first personal, and Grant now will toe the free throw line. 9 points for Grant. And now double figures with 10 to lead Purdue. CBSSports.com is your destination for complete tournament coverage. Get real-time scoring, video highlights, updated brackets, and expert analysis of every game at CBSSports.com.
Craig, Josh Duncan just checked back into this game, so they do have more outside shooting with he and B.J. Raymond. Sean Miller took out Duncan for maybe 2 possessions. I think just wanted to talk to him about having 3 fouls. Play maturely. Don't get any touch fouls to get your 4th at this juncture.
Grant makes 2 for Purdue. 41-37 Xavier. Duncan out front. Throws that ball down low, and patience by Xavier.
Nice spacing also.
Airballed it. Oh, it's saved. Kramer picks it up, however. Good hustle by B.J. Raymond. On the other end, Purdue, no. High off the glass and up and over the backboard.
Hummel is having a tough 3 days in Washington. This kid made first team All Big Ten Conference as a freshman. Only 5 guys made it. So he has ability and talent and performance, but has not shown it here in Washington, D.C.
And Bob, 0 for 3. The 3 misses all from behind the 3-point line. I wonder if Matt Painter maybe would say, why don't you take a step or 2 in and gain your confidence back?
Yeah. Also, I think at this juncture of the season, freshmen start to hit the wall a little bit. He is not an overly physical player.
Kramer whistle for his 3rd, and that will send Burrell to the free throw line. Well, in Washington, second half, and Xavier trying to win a trip to the Sweet 16 in Phoenix to take on West Virginia earlier today. The Mountaineers, Bob, took care of Duke. The number 2 seed in the West is out. Xavier down 9 in the first half, patiently worked their way back, led by 3 at the break, and they have taken off here in half number 2.
And it's been the defense, which is their calling card. They switch all screens, they maintain pressure on the ball, and they are physical, scoring most of their points in the paint. Xavier last year beat BYU in the first round and lost to Ohio State in an overtime game. Very, very difficult. They bring that up whenever you talk to these kids. Lavender, Burrell, Duncan all played big roles last year, as did Derek Brown. Xavier is an experienced team.
Purdue lost to the eventual champion in round 2. Billy Donovan and the Florida Gators. Purdue works the ball nicely inside. Johnson off the rim. Yeah, these teams are seasoned. They went up against the best a year ago. 15:55 to play. We'll be back on CBS. Well, Purdue started a 9-0 run here in Washington. Xavier followed with a 17-3 run. And you look at the high point guys for Purdue, it's Moore with 9. And how about Anderson's play, Bob? 15 points on 5 of 8 from the floor.
He has shown grit and determination. A small guy for a power forward, but very, very powerful. Mr. Duncan, who was the MVP of their last win to get them to this point, has 3 fouls right now, and he's got to be very, very careful. A lot of time left here. Juwan Johnson, another one of the Boiler babies, as they're known. 4 freshmen playing major roles for Matt Painter.
And the first point for Johnson out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Franklin Central High School. A year ago, averaging 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocks. And drops down 2.
He's got ability, and of course, when he puts on about 30 more pounds, he is going to be some performer.
Bob, it's amazing what Matt Painter's been able to do with 4 freshmen who play big minutes in this Purdue lineup. And that shot is down by Duncan.
How about the 6'9", 235-pound center jacking threes? Unusual skill set for that young man.
Dropped down 20 against Georgia, and now with 10 against Purdue. Oh, the net rattles by Johnson. Four quick points by the freshman, Juwan Johnson.
Pick and roll again. Pick and pop.
46-41 inside. Oh, what the? How about the feet? Lavender on a string finds Derek Brown.
I love that play. They went back to the same exact pick and roll, caught Purdue looking, and went the other way.
3 buckets, 6 points for Derek Brown. 48-47 Xavier. Under 15 minutes to play. Johnson grabs the handle back. Moore, tough shot. Up and in. Oh, the freshmen are performing here in crunch time.
Pick and roll on one side 3 times in a row between Lavender and Duncan.
Just over 14 minutes to play here in Washington. Final game of the West region, and it matches Purdue against Xavier. Musketeers down 9 early, but boy, they kept their patience and battled back. No shot and a foul. Xavier led by 3 at the break, 35-32. And they've worked the ball, Bob, very well inside. Their interior game has been the difference maker thus far.
No doubt about it. And their defensive prowess has been their calling card all year long. And it has been there very much with them in these 2 games in Washington, D.C. And they have locked down a very good offensive team in Purdue.
Anderson, good defense, lost the handle. That starts to break. Oh, it's picked off at midcourt. Oh, how about the quick hands? Dante Jackson, a freshman for Sean Miller, doing it. Burrell. Anderson to Love. Love's played big minutes for Xavier. Down low, Love, the big fella. Double pumps it, and a foul.
Experience is showing right now in this game.
Marcus Green picks up his second. And Duke is out. West Virginia. We saw Bob Huggins make his way onto the court just a while ago to watch this game on his way to Phoenix for the Sweet 16. And the winner here moves on.
We think there's going to be some Mountaineer fans going out to the bright sunshine of Phoenix, Arizona.
Only about 80 degrees. Why not?
Take me home, country roads, baby. They'll be out there in multitudes.
6-point ball game for Jason Love, right at his season average. That one's a little bit short. Purdue rebounds. Marcus Green with 5 in the first half. And keep your eye on this guy. Crump, so fast at the point. He was a difference maker in the first half. Johnson holds it, looks inside, slides it into Moore. Tough shot turning around. The follow won't go. Xavier rebounds and is cleared out. Cleared out by B.J. Raymond.
Xavier and Purdue, both very good fundamentals. Guys catch the ball with 2 hands. They get low in their defensive stance. Very infrequently do either of these teams turn the ball over and make silly passes.
Jackson.
And except right for cue, Jackson.
And right on cue, it goes into the front row on press row.
Well, Jackson's a freshman. He's got to learn the system. But they're going to be happy with him. He made that 3 yesterday to put them ahead against Georgia for the first time in the second half. They're going to remember that one for a long time in Musketeer land.
Turnovers now, 9 for Xavier, 8 committed by Purdue as we hit 13 minutes to play.
Now, did you notice that when Jackson made that turnover, he immediately exited the game? Good way to teach. The bench is a good teacher.
Johnson lost the handle, slides it up short. And again, Xavier covers up the rebound with Anderson. CJ with 6 boards on the afternoon. Quick first step. Oh, left to right hand. Circus shot won't go. Follow. Count it. It's Love.
Offensive board work. Notice Burrell with the leadership. When you have to help on Anderson, somebody's going to be open. And right here, it's Love going to the boards.
Jawan Johnson, Bob, picks up foul number 2, and Love is having one of the games of his career. And he picked the right stage to do it.
I'll tell you what, with big guys, when there's penetration by someone else, the most important thing is getting to the place where you think the shot may come off. Love is doing that in this game.
Missed the free throw. Hummel covers up the rebound, and here comes the speedster, Terrence Crump. A wicked first step, ran right by Lavender. How about that? Crump with 9, 7 in the first half.
And Crump is defensively trying to get in the grill of Lavender. He knows if he takes him out of his comfort zone, they will be less apt to play well. And how about that response?
5'7", he's a mighty mouse.
You want a challenge? I'll take the challenge, says Lavender.
Second 3-point shot drop. Purdue the other way. And it's down by Martin.
We got a personal thing going on right here between Lavender and Crump.
You can do it, I can do better. Is that what you're saying?
Amen.
Lavender behind the back dribble. Crump on him like a blanket. Runs right by the screen of Love. 19 on the shot clock. Drops it off. Anderson. Quick. Baseline. And again, Xavier showing patience. Making that extra pass over the top to Love. 9 on the shot clock. Big fella turns. Jump hook in and out. And Martin's there for Purdue.
That was a big-time rebound. Martin above the rim. Elbows out. Lands wide. Cleared people out.
Another 3. Not this time. And the loose ball is picked up by Derek Brown. And Lavender says, I'll take it. And Crump says, I'm going to pick you up. And here we go one more time.
Can't get too personal, though. Get your team out of what they want to do.
And timeout called by Xavier. 10:56 to play. Oh, what a game. Lavender, 5'7". Oh, that's a big shot. We'll be back on CBS.
Most powerful car under 30 grand.
Xavier owns a 6-point lead on Purdue. Just under 11 minutes to play, and the madness of March continues here on CBS. Coming up, Marquette will take on Cardinal of Stanford, Notre Dame, and Washington State. And how about tonight? UNLV, the running Rebels against the Jayhawks of Kansas.
Marquette and Stanford will be the little guys against the big guys. The Lopez twins against Dominique James and those guards. That's going to be an interesting contrast in style.
UNLV and Kansas should be quite an interesting ball game as well.
Yeah, didn't Lon Kruger have a Kansas State background? He's got some fire going in that one, I'll bet.
Oh, in his day, you didn't talk KU. Are you kidding? It was all about the Wildcats. Shot clock to 4 inside Duncan. Try to fake it off the glass and out of bounds. Martin trying to chase it down in the corner. Timeout, 10:33 to run here in Washington. We'll be back right here on CBS.
Make a difference in 1 week.
Greg Bolerjack, Bob Wenzel, our CBS crew back here in Washington. Bob, 2 big stories on that tournament summary. Duke misses the Sweet 16 for the 2nd straight year, and Davidson wins their first tournament game since 1969. What were you doing back in '69?
I was playing college basketball. And, of course, Davidson gets the unenviable task of playing against Georgetown and the mighty Hoyas. Nice reward. Watch this.
Oh, on the inbound to Brown.
The highlight reel man. Great out of the timeout. Love to see that.
Just like you draw it up on the board on the sideline by Sean Miller.
The lob pass. Notice no one pressuring the passer. And if you don't pressure the passer, the receiver is wide open, and he's going to jump over everyone.
On the other end, Brown picks up the foul, his 2nd personal. That shot off the rim. It's loose. Purdue has it in a fresh 35. 3-point shot, no. Well, the Boilermakers are crashing it, but they can't get the rebound. Off that miss by Martin. On the other end, quickly, spinner, Duncan, foul underneath. And on the reach in, Keaton Grant will be whistled for his 3rd.
Watch this challenge. Josh Duncan. This is why Purdue is behind in this game. Terrific defense right here. No one leaves their feet. And then the hand up on the shooter. You can see his hand still up in the air. And as a result, Purdue really struggling to score in this game.
Josh Duncan, 11 points.
You know, Craig, talking about this game and seeing how impressive Xavier's defense is, and yet Purdue right in it. Only 9 points behind. Keaton Grant could get hot. Josh Duncan could get in foul trouble. Lots and lots of things can happen in 9:58.
Duncan with 3 fouls. And shoots the free throw, drops down 2. That's 12 for Josh Duncan.
Purdue getting no fast break points.
Dante Jackson on the court now for Sean Miller. Both coaches trying to keep fresh legs on the court. Under 10 minutes left. Grant out front. He finds more. Boy, look at the defense, Xavier.
Very odd lineup right now for Matt Painter. 4 guards and Hummel. No post players in the game right now at all. They want to spread it out, try to go dribble drive, hope that there's some help, and get a clean 3.
Burrell picked up the foul. Purdue goes over the top to inbound. Hummel finds Grant. Moore, good look, shot, rims out. Two Boilermakers there for the offensive rebound, and it comes off their hand to Jackson.
They got a good shot, too, because of the small lineup. Didn't make it.
Brown trailed down the court and drops that ball off to Lavender with 9:20 on the clock. Down low. Brown, no. Oh, and it's ripped away. Kramer said, baby, that's mine. Kramer slides it up and off the glass. What's a power move, Chris Kramer.
How about that determination by Mr. Kramer?
Much needed by Purdue.
Big time. 6'3", 215. The defensive player of the year shows some coast-to-coast action.
He threw down 10 points. in that win against Baylor on Thursday. Lavender behind the screen of Brown.
Baylor's defense was not in the same league with these guys in the white uniforms.
Burrell takes a glance, shot clock to 9, throws up the shot. Oh, how did that go down? He cupped it. Just found enough seam. Burrell with 8 points, low block. It's a mismatch. Kramer, though, gets the couple of ounces.
He's taken over. You talk about will and determination. Chris Kramer personifies that for the Boilermakers. He's only a sophomore. He was here last year. In New Orleans, they beat Arizona, and you mentioned lost to Florida. He wants no part of going home.
Anderson on the lob. Couple of bounces. Clears it back. Anderson way outside. Well, that 3-shot wouldn't go. Burrell, there's a turnover. Grant on the run. Oh, he keeps control, and it comes out with a foul. Bob, the intensity here in Washington. We are down the stretch, and on the line, a Sweet 16 berth. We'll be back. Well, Bob, you see Xavier shooting 48%. Go down 2 lines, and you'll notice why. Points in the paint, high percentage shots, a 30-20 advantage on Purdue.
Yeah, and they've really been powering in there, both with the pass and the dribble. Josh Duncan, he of the unusual skill set, 6'9", 235, an outside-inside guy. He's a threat to shoot the deep 3, and he positions him well inside. And Bob Huggins, you know, because of the pod system, you used to not really be able to scout, but all of the people who are playing in Washington, the winners, going to Phoenix.
On
so
the
Bob
phone?
getting a look right now who his next opponent's going to be.
Oh, is he on the phone? Is he getting reservations? I'm sure I know someone's taking care of that already. Yeah, West Virginia off to Phoenix. They'll play the winner here of Purdue and Xavier.
My guess is he's talking to a recruit to bolster his front court.
Grant makes the free throw. That's a 12-point game for Keaton Grant. One more. Flick of the wrist and down.
I like this guy.
Only a sophomore. He's had a great tournament, Bob. First game, 17 points. Here in game 2 against Xavier. Has tossed in 13 to lead Purdue. Under 8 minutes to play. It's a 6-point ball game. Burrell. Tough cross-court pass. And it's caught and brought down by Anderson.
Anderson knows his game. He knows he doesn't want to shoot the ball from there. He's a paint player.
Not on the shot clock. That ball is loose. They try to force that ball into Duncan, and Purdue has it. And guess who? It's Grant. He'll come across midcourt, picked up by Lavender. Oh, sliding in. Grabs the miss, puts it up. Right hand. That's a beauty. Robbie Hummel's first bucket, and it comes with 7 minutes to play. And also a bit of a momentum changer.
Yeah. Hummel, look at his enthusiasm. Purdue's not going to go away. You can guarantee that. 15-3 in the Big Ten, alone in second place.
Duncan.
Fourth foul, baby.
Duncan. That's 4, as you mentioned. Try to go up strong, and that's going to force Duncan to the bench. And Jason Love returns for Sean Miller.
Well, interesting now what's going to happen for Xavier. I would not leave him on the bench too long. You've got a slim lead. You don't want to get behind and then put him in. You put him in to maintain your lead, and then if you fall behind, that's a whole other thing. You need the little guys when you're behind to pressure.
6.5 on the clock. Purdue working outside the three-point line. Wide open, Hummel for 3. Yes! All of a sudden, Hummel, the freshman, the young kid, is awakened. 5 quick ones for the Boilermakers. Timeout. Xavier. 1-point game.
Okay, people, it's time to rock and roll. Your stocks are right now because he doesn't have AT&T, which means he gets 0 bars up here on smartphone for $99.99.
7-0 run by Xavier. And the Musketeers lead Purdue 67-61, 3:28 to play. West Region, it's been a wild 3 days here in our nation's capital. We've seen Duke bounced out. West Virginia goes on to Phoenix, and Bob Huggins is in the house waiting to see who he plays. I don't know if he wants either one of these teams, but that's the way it's going to be.
There is no more relaxing feeling than watching the teams that you're going to play, knowing you're going to be there.
Foul before the shot. Lavender, that's number 2, and a timeout. 3:25 down the stretch we go. We'll be back.
Greg Gumbel in New York with an update. East Region action in Denver. 5th seed Notre Dame trailing 4th seed Washington State 11-7 with about 13:45 to play in the first half. In Anaheim, Marquette trails Stanford 9-6. Those of you awaiting Game 2 in Omaha, UNLV and top seed Kansas. That tips at 7:10. We'll get to all of that action once we wind down in Washington.
7-0 run by Xavier after trailing 61-60. Xavier now with the lead with 3:25 left to play.
You talk about experience mattering in the NCAA tournament. Those Xavier kids got together, walking out after the timeout, slapping 5, talking to one another. Very, very good focus. Not that Purdue doesn't have it, but not as much experience for the Boilermakers.
Keaton Grant with 14 points, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, and a second miss. But the putback, oh, it comes off. And a loose ball batted around Xavier finally covers up. That was a big miss, and Hummel nearly had the putback.
Yeah, he was backing up when he took the shot. Look for Xavier to pound it in the paint.
And a foul as Brown held the ball out front.
How about this offensive comeback by Xavier when things were looking tough? They had lost the lead, and they responded with some terrific shots, and beating the shot clock on that one was C.J. Anderson.
And Bob, Purdue just lost Chris Kramer to his 5th foul.
Whoa. The most experienced guy on this team, really, in a lot of ways. The defensive player of the year in the Big Ten this year.
Boy, strong, great feet. Also led the Big Ten in steals. Nearly 2.5 thefts a ball game, so he's out after picking up his 5th. And Burrell will toe the free throw line. Burrell so durable for Sean Miller. 56th straight start today. Short. It's Monday Madness with an all-new lineup of TV's top comedies, only right here on CBS. Don't miss it.
What college did Charlie Sheen go to, you think? Is he a basketball player? I don't think so. Doesn't have the discipline, huh?
Burrell makes the second of 2. 9 for Stanley Burrell. 3 minutes on the clock. 68-62. Hummel and the sliding Keaton Grant will go back to the line.
Boy, Grant is a guy who can create his own shot, can he?
Dante Jackson the foul.
Right here, going around people, through people, over the top of people. And he's going to get to his chance at the free throw line. Very similar to the Duke situation earlier when West Virginia won. When you're behind, you try to score when the clock is stopped. And, of course, when you're fouled, that's the way to do it.
And returning is Josh Duncan. 4 fouls. 12 points, 3 rebounds on the afternoon. He can alter shots, and that's why he's back in. It's a gamble, but you got to put him there. 2:51 on the clock and 2 free throws by Grant.
Really no gamble now. I mean, he's in there for the rest of the game. If he fouls out, it doesn't matter. At the end of a game, when you're ahead or behind, it's the little guy's time to shine.
Derek Brown, Duncan puts it on the floor, goes around Hummel. Tough shot. Oh, the power of Duncan.
How about making an impression in the first seconds back in?
How smart does Sean Miller feel saying, Duncan, you're in. 6-point ball game. Xavier with the lead. Hummel slides it in. No. Duncan rebounds. So a bucket and a defensive rebound in what, 30 seconds on the court?
He's starting to remind me of that other Duncan who played at Wake Forest. Holy cow.
Lavender chewing up some clock, puts out that patented floater. Oh, the little man. That's a big bucket. Purdue now trailing 72-64, under 2 minutes on the clock. Driving, hanging, Martin, yes. Martin throws down his 6-point, 1:42 on the clock, and we'll be back.
The following is rated SX. Viewer discretion at your Suzuki dealer for additional savings.
6-point Xavier lead, and Bob, the game changer, Josh Duncan.
Coming in off the bench, he gets this drive immediately to give them some breathing room, and then at the other end, check out this rebound above the rim, clearing people out. Josh is doing his imitation of Tim.
6'9", 240. You talked about his ability to go inside out. Good rebounder, sees the floor, dribbles the ball. Lavender trying to go coast to coast, and then he dishes down to Duncan. 16. Duncan with 2 buckets. Moore spinning, hanging, no. Duncan again on the other end. How about that? Possession on both ends, buckets and rebounds.
Seniors and seniors and seniors.
Each one more on the reach-in foul, his second.
Lavender to Duncan. The aggression. You gotta love it. Xavier made it to the Sweet 16 in 2004. And last year they were heartbroken when they lost to Ohio State in overtime. And that has been a motivating force for Xavier since that day last year in the NCAA tournament.
Free throw will put him up 10. It's 9. The rebound is chased down by Keaton Grant. Well, Purdue in big trouble. 1:10 to play. Grant fires deep. Oh, they're still breathing. Oh, the heart is still pounding here in Washington. Grant from downtown, and we'll be back. Today's Chevrolet players of the game are from Purdue. Etuan Moore, 13 points, 5 rebounds. Josh Duncan just taking over this game in the last couple of minutes, Bob. 16 points and 5 rebounds, 2 on the defensive end over the past minute.
Had a nice talk with Josh Duncan yesterday in between games. Came to visit with us. Had a very, very sincere attitude about advancing. Wasn't overly enthralled with their win the other day. I mean, happy, but really felt like there was a lot more to do.
Backcourt pressure. Lavender.
Double front chains.
Unbelievable quickness. And then Purdue forced a foul. Grant with the reach in. And that's 4 on Keaton Grant. 57 ticks left. 75-69. Xavier less than a minute away from the Sweet 16. Bob, as Lavender shoots the free throws, you can't help but think Sean Miller maybe just thinking a little bit ahead, maybe just a little against West Virginia.
I don't think he's thinking about that yet. He's just trying to get through this game. But Bobby Huggins is thinking about it, I'll tell you that. You're going to have some dynamic matchups in this game. How about Duncan against Joe Alexander? Big guys who play both inside and out. Are you kidding me?
I love that one. 12 points, 9 assists for Lavender. He's working on a double-double. It's going to have to be a barrage of threes if the baby Boilermakers want to make it to Phoenix. What do you know? There is one and counting. Marcus Green from way downtown. Stay where you are. It's a 5-point game. We'll be back.
Shots long.
Matt Painter teaching. 5-point game. Xavier with 2 timeouts remaining. Purdue, they're going to have to go the rest of the way.
Well, right now, what Purdue needs to do, obviously they just made a 3. It's a 2-possession game. You pressure full court. You get your quickest players in there, and Bob Huggins watching to see what's going to happen in this one late. If you do not get the steal, you want to foul. Foul even before the inbounds. Now, can Xavier make their free throws down the stretch? That is always the question in tense situations. I don't think Matt wanted that foul beforehand.
Down to play this Germans against Purdue, number 12.
Terrence Crump, the foul, his first. And so we'll walk it down to the other end, and Lavender will shoot free throws.
Now Xavier defensively, there's a reticence to foul at this point in the game if you are ahead. And therefore, sometimes the drive to the basket is the quickest way to get points. Duncan is coming out of the game. They want to use the little guys at the end of the game. That's the most important thing. If you are ahead in the game, you want your quickness in the game to defend the quickness of the smaller team that you're going to approach.
Lavender 13 points, a perfect 3 for 3 from the line.
I wonder what that visual signal is that Sean Miller gave with the 2 fists pounding together. I think it's make sure you make your free throws.
Now the question at the scorer's table, we've been told, is substitution.
Well, sometimes at the end of the games, John Cal is explaining to Matt Painter, if you take a guy out, you can't put him back in until there's at least 1 tick on the clock. So his 2 players are going to have to come back into the game.
Yeah, back comes Crump and Jawan Johnson. And so Martin is going to have to go back to the Purdue bench along with Grant. So Lavender now with a chance. He's cooled off by now.
Yeah, that's right. This is a good way to ice the free throw shooter, huh? I don't think Lavender cares one bit. He shoots 85% from the line.
Flick of the wrist. And good. 14-11 in the second half for Drew Lavender. Crump takes it up and a whistle.
That's what always happens in these situations. You don't want to foul. They're going to take it hard to the basket. These are the 2 quickest guys on the floor. Lavender cuts him off, but a little slap on the wrist.
Third personal on Lavender. That will put Crump now to the free throw line.
As you mentioned, Purdue has no timeouts left. Pressure full court right here. Trap and steal and foul in that order.
And now again a discussion at the scorer's table, and this time Sean Miller makes his way all the way down from the Xavier bench.
Well, he's trying to ice their free throw shooter. Sometimes you know what's happening, but you go and ask a question anyway, just to get some time to tick off.
And they're going to bring both teams to the sideline. This is interesting. And Bob, again, I don't know, we were told this was a substitution issue. I don't see there's a clock problem.
Well, we know that Crump was fouled. We know that he's going to go to the line to shoot 2. Matt Painter emphatic, obviously, in what he's teaching his players right now. And that is, he's concerned about what happens after the 2 free throws. You also, in this situation, tell your players what to do on a miss. Sometimes on a miss, you would double team the rebounder. Sometimes the big guys aren't good passers, and you could get a turnover right away that way as well.
How big is this issue for Purdue with no timeouts? This is a great opportunity for Painter maybe to paint 2 plays the final 42 seconds.
Yeah, you can do that. And right now, he's pretty animated right now, as you can see. In his 3rd year at Purdue. Played there, was an outstanding player there. Was groomed for the job under Gene Katie and has done a remarkable job.
And Bob, what I found interesting with our discussion yesterday was Painter says, I recruit the best player. I'll adjust to what he does best.
Probably looking at the clock as to how many ticks are left when the foul was made.
How about the floor security? 3 men around the scorer's table protecting the officials here. Now the clock's running.
Well, it looked like the shot clock was held back a little bit. It wasn't going as fast as the game clock. But that really shouldn't matter on a foul. The shot clock should be no issue.
Well, the clock now has been reset to 44.4. So the clock ran after the foul was called, and they reset it to 44.4.
That's unusual because in a lot of the whistles stop the clock automatically. In our technological age, the whistle of the official stops the clock on its own. Humans do not have to do that. They're only the background.
So 2 shots for Crump. After all that, and Crump drops it. Double figures for Crump. Substitution now. Duncan is back. And for Xavier, Jackson is out.
Well, Duncan is a more experienced player and a big target against the press. If you get in trouble, you can just throw it up to him.
Crump drops 2, and again, what do you expect here, Bob? Again, the backcourt pressure of Purdue.
Well, Lavender should be able to get open on his own, but Crump is very, very quick.
Timeout. Timeout, Xavier. Could not inbounds. 44 ticks left. What a wild ending here in Washington. We'll be back. "44 seconds on the clock. Xavier with 1 timeout remaining.
Well, on this inbound play right now, because there was a free throw, the man inbounding can move along the sideline. He does not have to stand in one spot. The last time they had Lavender up by himself. This time all 5 guys in the backcourt.
And the pressure by Purdue forces the turnover. Xavier unable to inbound. And only a second went off the clock.
Nice D by Purdue. Terrific job pressuring and being in the right place at the right time.
And again, officials are at the table.
John Cal is explaining that the ball was not tipped and it went directly out of bounds. Sean Miller was saying, hey, they hit it.
So the clock is reset back to the original 44.4.
When no one touches the ball, the clock starts when someone touches it inbounds.
Out front is Hummel. Takes that shot, falling away. Hard off the rim. Loose ball. Xavier. And a foul. Anderson.
Well, Anderson made the turnover and threw the ball out of bounds, so he's redeemed himself with this big-time rebound. Hummel got a pretty clean look. Front iron, everybody after it, and the strong hands of C.J. Anderson prevail in this situation.
Keaton Grant, Bob, picks up his 5th. And so 2 Boilermakers have fouled out here. Kramer the first, Grant now the second.
There's the shot by Hummel. The rebound by C.J. Anderson, and the clock kept going too far. They're going to put some more time back on.
Boy, this has been, I mean, what? Is that the 3rd issue at the table here in the final minute?
Yeah, they're going to add some time here, Craig.
37-3. So from 34-3, they add 3 seconds back on, and Anderson at the line to shoot 2.
You know what's pretty amazing about this situation? The officials actually see that that clock should have stopped, and they're really doing a terrific job of getting these things right here. I know it's annoying to people watching on television, but really, what a good eye by the officials to see that 3 seconds went off when it shouldn't have gotten off. It could make a big difference in a game like this.
How about Keaton Grant? 19 points, the heart and soul of Purdue in this ball game. That ball is missed. 35 seconds left. 6-point ball game. Moore drives it up off the rim. The follow comes out. One more time. No!
10 players in the paint, 3 feet from the basket. When you're behind, you send everyone to the boards. Don't worry about defensive balance. Action all over. Repetitive jumping. Only the strong survive in this one.
Hummel goes to the free throw line. 6-point game. 86% on the season and his first attempts on the afternoon.
This shot will make it a 2-possession game if he makes it.
Josh Duncan returns.
Xavier has executed poorly in these set situations against the press the last 2 times. Look for maybe a long pass.
One more for Hummel. Out she comes.
Lane violation. He'll shoot it again. Somebody was in too quickly. I think it was Brown.
It was. Anderson nearly went over the line as well. They were trying to hold back Martin. He was leaning in.
Well, the explanation to Sean Miller.
And now another clock issue. And Sean Miller emotional here down the stretch run in a very tight game. Hummel pushes it up and in. 7 for Hummel. And again,
look at the backcourt. It's wide open for a long pass. I think they should go deep.
Burrell. They clear it out top to Brown. Lavender clears midcourt. And fouled from behind, and Lavender will shoot. And that whistle will be on Marcus Green. Bob, I've never been involved in this type of ending to a ball game.
It's been a little weird, hasn't it?
I mean, honestly, the last minute 30, about a 15-minute ball game.
But, you know, they're getting the things right. You know, you've got to check the clock. If you can't just let it go. What if you let that go and there were 3 seconds to go and a guy could take a shot or not take a shot?
Well, I think the frustration for Sean Miller, though, is it's been multiple issues, not one.
Yeah.
Lavender. Boy, just icing those veins. 16. 13 in the second half for the 5'7" senior out of Columbus. There's a steal and a foul. Burrell will go to the line, and the foul whistled on each one more.
That was great hands right there. Guys coming at you full speed, and you get low enough to steal the basketball. Watch this. You talk about defense. Mr. Burrell deserves that honor as being one of the best defensive players in the country.
That was a good open field tackle by Moore, and Burrell drops down the free throw. Xavier, 24 of 30 from the line, and there's a miss. Hummel quickly finds Moore across midcourt. Moore drives it up, hangs it in for 2.
Clock stops automatically on a made basket in the last minute in college basketball. That's why you don't need a timeout.
10.5 seconds. 83-78, still a 5-point ball game, and timeout called. Xavier.
When it comes to buying a home, family conditions often outweigh market conditions. If you purchase one of the millions of homes that will be sold this year, the National Association of Realtors.
Xavier with a 5-point lead, an odd finish here in Washington. Clock issues, no timeouts remaining. Xavier with the basketball. 10 seconds away from a Sweet 16 matchup with West Virginia. Bob Purdue going down with a heck of a fight. Oh, a steal. Crump. Brown got a piece of it. Gotta love the way Purdue tries to finish this game out. There's the steal.
No harm intended right here. Just going after the ball by everyone. And certainly Marcus Green had no intent of trying to hit Lavender. But Lavender goes down. Should be fine.
Third Boilermaker to foul out of this game. Marcus Green picks up his 5th. Joins Grant and Kramer on the bench.
Well, because of the great season that Purdue had this year, qualifying for the tournament with this young team, the future is bright. Marcus Green, a junior, so he'll be back. We talked about the 4 freshmen on this team that have had a great impact on Purdue basketball. And, of course, Xavier, senior laden. They're going to go to the Sweet 16 for the 2nd time in the last few years. 2004, they made it.
Lavender, 18. Went for the steal, final seconds. Moore lost it. That's it. It's over. Xavier on their way to the Sweet 16. 85-78 the final, and we go to New York City. Here's Greg Gumbel.
All right, thanks, guys. So the Musketeers of Xavier move on. 85-78 over a gallant Purdue Boilermaker squad. Meanwhile, in Denver, Washington